We want to acknowledge the people of Nevis, of course. The relationship between Nevis and St. Kitts has been a special one. We want to acknowledge the people from Butlers to Charlestown. Those of you who are listening to Working for You, our inaugural program of the Team Unity administration. Now, Dr. Harris, your government has been going and working despite the detractors. Some said at one point that you were not going to last 6 weeks. Others said that you were not going to last 6 months. What do you have to say in your response to that?
I don't know if I need respond to that. The fact that I am here now 8 months indicated that each of the prediction was so badly off, and that the prediction was not in sync with the wishes of the people. But even before that, it was that they had predicted wrongly that Team Unity couldn't happen. But Team Unity did happen, because Team Unity was what the majority of people in St. Kitts and in Nevis wanted. At least 3 polls at different intervals indicated that the preference of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis was not for the Douglas Party, was not for PAM, was not for CCM, was not for NRP, was not for PLP. That the people wanted to end the divisiveness in the country. They wanted cohesiveness. They wanted a new and a stronger and more empowering approach to governance that embodied the skill sets of all the people across the political divide. And that is why Team Unity is so much alive and well today, because Team Unity is not the wish of a leader or the leaders within the party constructs of Team Unity. Team Unity and Team Unity government is basically what the people of St. Kitts and Nevis wish for, hope for, and what they really want: to have administering government and the governance agenda for St. Kitts and Nevis.
Now, it was touted just after you assumed office that there was mass victimization taking place in the country, and that people were being sent home left, right, and center, and that would be the trademark of your administration. What do you have to say of that? Have people been victimized?
Again, not one scintilla of evidence. What you have are the election losers misbehaving as usual. The election losers who have become miserable now that they have lost the favor of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. They are attempting to store up ill will in the society. The truth is that everyone knows that whenever there is a change of government, and be it Antigua or St. Lucia or St. Vincent, the political appointees ought to resign. You don't even wait. And some of these people had been so much in the front line of the campaign that if they had a modicum of decency, they would have sent in their resignation and they won. Erasmus Williams, for example. Everyone knows what Erasmus was: a political propagandist. And Erasmus Williams, for a while, for 3 weeks after the elections, never once came to say, "Good morning, Prime Minister. What can I do for you today?" For 3 weeks, never put one story out with respect to the Team Unity administration. Clearly, the man had abandoned his work. Clearly, that was not a person who could properly, even if he were to try, execute the agenda of the incoming government, having regard to the extremes to which he went before. So that is not a case of victimization. We must challenge them each time they say victimization to names and ask them if these persons have been political activists. Ask them If the permanent secretary who journeyed to New York spent 2 weeks up there organizing for the flights to come in for the Douglas party, if that is a public servant in accordance with the best tradition expected of people in civil service, and whether that person could continue in that particular way under any administration, not just the immunity. Ask them, for example, that when on the 3rd floor of government headquarters, they set up a party center there, utilizing state resources, including the phones, dial in and have a cadre of people there, party activists, calling and begging for vote abroad, whether those people could properly serve in your administration. And look at the reality of the civil service now. Well, the Ministry of Finance, let's look right in my ministries. The Financial Secretary still there, no victimization. The Deputy Secretary still there, Financial Secretary, no victimization. And you could go on and on. Let's go into human resource. The Chief Personnel Officer under Douglas, still there, no victimization. And we go to the Ministry of Health. Andrew Skerritt, Permanent Secretary, who had a rough deal under Marcella Liebert, if truth be told, still there, whatever his politics was on the 16th of February. How dare they bring the charge of victimization against this government? And you could take every ministry and go through it man by man, woman by woman, and you see what changes have been made. And you recognize it is empty talk. It is empty talk. And you go through the relevant state corporations and you ask yourself, what has Team Unity done that is without basis and merit? Okay. We have been a decent and responsible government. We gave people and boards, for example, time and the opportunity to do the decent things. Some of them, like Peter Jenkins, who was in charge of ZIZ board, refused to do the right thing. When everybody knows that by the next day, these people ought to have resigned, and there was a history for it. Wendell Lawrence, for example, wrote a letter of resignation within days. And in it, he said to me, the new government has a right to properly choose those of its functionaries. Paraphrasing. That is the kind of service we want. You know who you are. Some of them on election day, they fought with candidates. Fought with them in terms of their behavior and their conduct. And you mean to tell me they still have the brazen face and the next day to come with all the malice in their heart, and then somebody want to claim victimization? There's no victimization here. Not one scintilla of evidence of that.